So welcome back, or welcome to the As Above, So Below podcast. My name is Andrew Swayze, and I'm joined here today with my co-host, Gunnar Regan. Today's topic we're going to be chatting about is mistake management. We all make mistakes. We have been there before, and it's okay. Although in many mistakes that we make, there are valuable lessons to be learned. In today's episode, Gunnar is going to go through and explain his process that he uses to help his clients and himself work through mistake management. Gunnar, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, Andrew. I want to start by talking about mistakes in the sense of negative thoughts. As humans, we are masters of holding on to negative thoughts. We are so well conditioned to hear something negative, and that's going to make us act in a certain way or think in a certain way from there forward. However, whether that thought was originally yours or was pushed on you by something else, someone else, we do have opportunities to move past mistakes, as Andrew said earlier, and learn from them, right? We can move with mistakes to see them as opportunities. First, I want to create a little story, a little imagery for you. As you're listening, picture a time where you were either playing a sport and you had a coach who was tough on you, or you were at work and your boss was a stickler for some details. And whether that's your coach or your boss, they noticed something and they decided to react with emotion, right? That emotion could be fired up. It could be disappointed. Whatever that emotion is, you noticed that they were having that reaction and you immediately projected it onto yourself. So now that your thoughts are being controlled and you're controlling your thoughts, it goes both ways in a way that is full of negative emotion. We're going to start to freeze in our place because of these negative emotions, all because of one mistake. However, it's really easy to hold on to those negative emotions, those negative thoughts. The hardest thing is to realize that those are emotions and they do not last. So emotions are impermanent. They are energy in motion as you break that word apart. It is super important that we have emotions in this life. Otherwise, we would miss out on a lot of joy. We'd also have fewer opportunities to learn from negative experiences. So those emotions, whether it's disgust, whether it's bliss, whether it's love, whether it's hate, I try not to use that word, but in this context, it makes a lot of sense. If you're feeling any of those, it's okay. You can use that emotion, you can take a step back and then observe what that emotion is. How did it come? Why are you experiencing this? What are the factors inside you that led to it? Maybe there was a whole list of things that happened to you in the last couple hours or days that made this one moment so strong in emotion. Now that we're in a place where we can observe that emotion, you have the opportunity to then make a decision. Are you going to hold on to this? Is that coach saying that you made a mistake, you're never going to go be the same again? Is that going to stop you? Or are you going to decide to go, I'm going to make the next thing mine? So jumping back into this, mistakes are our friends when we choose to see ourselves as human. However, we often use mistakes as if I make a mistake. That single word, if, holds us back. It fires up these emotions that we've experienced in the past, the fear of the future. All of these things start to come in. I could start to say to myself, I can't do this because I made a mistake. Or if I make a mistake, I won't be able to do it next time. However, again, I want to make sure that we're realizing it, that one single word, if I go from if I make a mistake, I can't, we change if to when I make a mistake because we're human, I can. I can move forward. I can be productive. I can learn this lesson right now. It may take more time, maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, but we're going to start to realize when I make a mistake, this is my opportunity to get better, to learn and be my best self. So the simple way to look at mistakes is, if I make a mistake, you're holding on to the negation, the negative emotion that we were talking about. We can then choose to say, when I make a mistake, or when I just made a mistake, I now have control and I now have power over my thoughts to make this right, to improve on that activity, to make my next move even bigger, even stronger, and do the right thing. So, as we talk on our podcast often, we are the As Above, So Below podcast. Emotions can be physically embodied and experienced in our mind, and vice versa. I can have something so powerful in my mind that my body starts to feel that as well. This is where we want to talk about self-responsibility. And I know Andrew and I discussed on this prior to this podcast. What am I responsible for? So I'm going to answer this first, and then I'm going to give it to Andrew. I am responsible for my actions and effort. Ultimately, my focus is on the opportunity that I want to have and that I chose by being here. When we're creating these podcasts, if we were aiming to be perfect, any mistake would throw us off. That's why we're not aiming to be perfect. We're aiming to be worried about our effort. We're concerned of our effort and how we can continually get better. Right? If I make a mistake, which I'm sure I have already in this recording, you can call me out in the comment sections, but make sure you like and subscribe. If I've made a mistake, that's okay. And I'm okay with it because I've practiced this routine for years. If I make a mistake in the past, it would have froze me. It would have thrown me off for weeks, months at a time. I've now had this practice of, when I make a mistake, what can I learn from it? So, Andrew, what do you feel you are responsible for?
Well, everything you said there, I want to echo. Your actions. You're responsible for your thoughts as well. Ultimately does make up all the things that we do, and they culminate in the emotions that we have in our body. So those are for sure the things that we're responsible for. And in regards to mistakes, we're responsible for recognizing the mistakes that we make. We're responsible for learning from them by changing course or changing action, like you mentioned, in the future. So it could be something as simple as you are with your partner and you made a mistake about what it is that they do or do not like. And, oh, I didn't realize that. Sorry, like, what is it that you do like? Oh, I see that that's how you like to be treated, or these are the things that you want. These are the ways that you enjoy experiencing love and affection. I'm going to make sure that I practice these things in the future. I'm going to make sure that next time around, I acknowledge you for the things that you want and you desire. That's something that shows up in my life on occasion, right? Being in a relationship. But yeah, you are responsible for these things. And it can feel as if sometimes it's like a heavy load to bear. Although when we realize that everything that we do in our life, we have a choice around it, and we can choose to act or not act in certain ways, it empowers us. And it empowers us in how we create and live our lives moving forward. So, when it comes to mistakes, there's a level of self-responsibility that it takes to own up to those mistakes. Be okay with the mistake that you have made. So, dwell on it to the extent that needs to be dwelled on to learn from. But once you have, then take that knowledge, that information that you've gained, and then apply it moving forward. Continue to practice the awareness and the mindfulness that it takes to really live better than you had been through your actions, your thoughts, and the things that you say to other people. So yeah, I'm curious, Gunnar, do you have any unique stories around mistakes that you've made in the past, and maybe some regrets around them that you may have had as well?
I for sure do. I've made many mistakes. The first one that comes to mind is when I was playing hockey and I was on a highly competitive team, and there were a lot of expectations around the team performing well. And I, at the time, took on a lot of grief anytime I made a mistake. So it could be as simple as like I didn't get all the way over the red line and ice the puck, and then would come back to the bench and get yelled at. And I would just hold on to that, like, oh, I'm not a good player because I didn't do that little thing. And guess what happened? I did it again because I focused so strongly on the mistake that it became something I did routinely. And then I was fortunate to have some conversations with a different coach, and they were able to tell me like, hey, yes, you did these, you iced the puck a few times, you did that, that's okay. How are you going to learn from it? And this is exactly what I teach now as a mindset coach is if I make a mistake and I sit on the bench and worry about doing it again, it's going to happen. My mind is so focused on that single thing happening or not happening, it's still my main focus. However, when I make a mistake, now I have the opportunity to go back to the bench, think about it. What do I want to have happen next? See the play that I want to have happen. And that was take 2 extra steps, get the puck over the red line, and then I get to make a play, and the rest of the game is in our favor, right? We're using those moments of I did this wrong. I acknowledge it. I was upset at one point. Coaches were upset with me. And then that's my opportunity to go, that's all right. I've done that before. I don't want to do it again. What do I want? And that's to make the play. That's to be someone that my teammates look at and trust to make the play. And when I can focus on making the play rather than the mistake, I'm going to make the play.
I love it. Yeah, that's a great example right there. And I'm curious. I'll say this. I imagine learning from those mistakes as a hockey player in your youth allowed you to become as successful as you were in hockey, getting all the way to the collegiate level of hockey. And I also imagine it translates well to this mindset in your new sport now in CrossFit. And mistakes happen there from time to time. You shared that with me before, but like you said, you learn from them. You realize how to change your strategy in the future. You change that trajectory of that course just a little bit, and then from there, you're allowed to show up as an even better self and perform at an even higher level, which is cool.
Yes, I agree 100%. Like my hockey career, as successful as it was, there were 4 or 5 times as many mistakes made. However, if I don't make those mistakes early on and I choose not to learn from them, I just choose to dwell on them, I don't make it as far as I do. Right? My passion for anything, whether it's hockey, whether it's coaching athletes, whether it's coaching clients through CrossFit and helping them develop mindset, like my passion for that is to see the things you want and help you get there. So mistake management is massive in our development. We can change our language from if to when. We can recognize our emotions, whether it's ours that we're feeling or we're seeing someone else's and having that empathetic response. That's all important. Learning how to manage that, right? Mistake management, learning how to manage the emotions that we have that others are projecting onto us learning how to manage our language from if to when gives us an advantage everywhere we go. So practicing these mindful and self-responsibility tactics is beneficial for everyone. And if you're curious on how to implement these tactics, I know I would love to have a conversation with you, Andrew. You can do the same thing. You're working in San Diego. Where can people find you?
If you'd like to connect with me, you can reach me at my Instagram handle, andrew.swayze, or you can also reach out to me on my website, swayzefitness.com. How about you, Gunnar?
Beautiful. Yeah, if you're looking to get connected and work on some mindsets and as well as physical training, you can find me on Instagram at Gunnar Regan, as well as my business page at Animus Coach. Always there, ready to have a conversation. Thank you for listening to our podcast today, the As Above, So Below podcast. Please like and subscribe. If you thought this was useful, leave a comment. We are grateful to hear any feedback that you may have and how this is helping you in your life. And we're very appreciative of you listening. So thank you from both of us. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.